Welcome, everybody, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is your podcast for the evening of Tuesday, August 5th. If you are a regular listener to the show, you know that I am not our usual host. Jordan is not available tonight, so I am the captain now. I am obnoxiously Pitt Girl. Alongside me, I have Commish, Beth, and Arthur on the ones and twos as usual. We also have Canada correspondent Joey and very special guest Shehan Jeyarajah. I'm sorry I butchered your last name. I knew I was going to do that. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. You really hit the last name very fast. I think that probably was a mistake. I think you got to slow down and really feel it out. But I really appreciate the effort.
We try here. We definitely do try.
Welcome. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It's weird. It feels like we're like actually getting to the point where there's gonna be football. Like I went out to a practice like a week ago, and like it's here. There's actually like guys hitting each other now.
Yay!
It feels so good to do that. I'm just imagining the folks, the ones that are playing in week 0. Like they've already been doing this for like a couple of weeks now. And so like I'm looking forward to that. I feel bad for like Incarnate Word because it's been like 100+ in San Antonio, and then their reward for playing in week 0 is to go to Thibodaux, Louisiana, at noon to play Nichols. And probably the humidity is going to be above 100%. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it'll be above 100% for that one.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, Commish, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It's been a fun Tuesday. All hell broke loose at the real job when I was on PTO last week. So this is kind of the normal side of the day for me now. I appreciate it. I enjoy this. This is the relaxing part of the day. The rest of the day is on fire, like Joey's job interview.
Joey, how are you besides the fact that your nation is on fire and sending its wildfire smoke to me?
It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I stole your line
because my line.
Because you stole Jordan's lines.
I guess that's fair.
Doing good. Watching the World Games. Currently, Sweden is absolutely kicking the hell out of Thailand in women's floorball. If you want to know what that sentence means, check out our free Patreon podcast where me and Sky Speed break down the World Games, which is the Olympics for sports not in the Olympics. Very fun.
Fantastic. Beth, how are you?
I'm great. I spent a big chunk of today trying to figure out all of my disk storage. I'm doing a computer swap right now, and for other job, I have many bytes of sound libraries because I'm an audio technician. And so I now have 20 terabytes of external storage, and I'm trying to get used to the idea that like I have space again, and a lot of it. So trying to figure out where to put things is a bit of a challenge.
You want to start playing Civ on the podcast, on the Twitch stream? You got all that space for it now.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, I was gonna. Okay, that makes sense because I feel like your mic looks a lot better than the rest of ours, to be honest.
Getting a lot of space is like it kind of changes things, and then also you kind of struggle with, well, what do I do now? Right? Like I just installed a few terabytes on my computer like a couple months ago, and really the only change is that instead of deleting all of the old, not the podcast like audio files, but the Audacity editing files, I just still have all the old ones now on the computer. I don't use them at all, but they're still there instead of being deleted in a timely fashion.
You have your own personal archiver.
This is going to go, I mean, I'm already headed down a bad path. I just decided to give an entire 4 terabyte drive to Time Machine. So, which is a choice. I'm making bad decisions right from the start of this. So like I had these aspirations of like, I'm going to keep this really nice and organized. It's going to be great. And instead it's just going to be like, I have all of this space. I could put stuff everywhere. I can see this happening already.
I'm going to live in your computer
on your 20
forever.
Terabyte junk drawer. Before we get started, I would like to tell everybody how I am because I took a little field trip yesterday. I live in scenic central Pennsylvania, and I have never been to the Penn State Creamery in part because I was concerned that I might burst into flame upon setting foot on the Penn State campus.
It may happen.
Pleased to inform you that did not occur. Okay. Also, the ice cream's amazing. There's one thing that we have to hand it to Penn State for, and it's this ice cream.
I will also hand the Arboretum to them, which is awesome. Pitt
fan and West Virginia fans complimenting Penn State. Joey, are you sure like other towns are not on fire now?
This is the one thing I got to hand it for. Also, we zoomed past in the car after getting ice cream, and I could see Penn State practicing through a gap in the fence, and I was like,
who's QB1?
Oh.
Who's QB1?
I don't know.
We would hope it's Drew Aller, but okay.
Breaking news for insider from Penn State practice: Drew Aller is QB1.
Oh,
you heard it here first.
What flavor did you
obvious get? Things. We should definitely tweet really obvious things, and if people just put breaking news like the on-3 graphics.
Beth, they had a summertime one that is vanilla ice cream with peach chunks and a raspberry ripple. It was very good.
Sounds like Peachy Paterno, but with a hat.
Yeah, basically. And also then you don't have to like make the moral compromise of ordering that one.
Right.
Nope.
Right, which I won't. I'll go buy a peach and dice it. Thanks.
There's the forbidden line that we're not going to go down of ice cream flavors based off disgraced former head coaches, but we're not going to do that.
Welcome.
That's an off-season project.
I'm not doing no more research. I already did the FA Cup. I'm so exhausted from that.
If you need any ideas, I'm a Baylor grad. We got plenty of options.
Hey!
That's actually a great segue. Thank you.
Good segue. Yeah, not really the.
So, Shehan, you are here tonight because we are doing our Big 12 preview. Yeah. Would you care to tell the listeners about why we have brought you on as our Big 12 expert?
Yeah, I think 4 other people said no. You said right. No, I have been around the Big 12 too long at this point. Like I mentioned, went to Baylor, covered state of Texas, covered nationally, of course. So basically been around the Big 12 for like 13 years at this point. It's I mean, granted, it was a very different Big 12 when I was back in school, but I feel like I've gotten to help shepherd some of these schools and teams in as they've moved up from the G5 or come over from the Pac-12. So I probably know a little more than most about what's going on down there.
To be fair, you were the second person we asked. Bill Snyder said no.
Coach
I would have loved to see his microphone. I don't know what he would be using.
Like the really, really old-timey radio.
An old radio condenser.
No, the old-time like telephone where he has the one in one hand and the earpiece up. just being like, don't mention that my son Sean Snyder did not get the Kansas State job.
There's a reason it's called Snyder Family Stadium.
Yeah.
And just like that, I'm blocked on Twitter by Bill. How about that?
Oh, I forgot he has Twitter. It's pretty good.
His Twitter's great.
I am actually blocked by him on Twitter because I think I literally just reported that like they weren't gonna go with Sean, and the word that I've heard, again, I hope that this doesn't get back to the Snyder family, who I'm sure are wonderful people, but like
I'm sure they will listen to this episode.
I hear that maybe the son might have a little bit to do with his day-to-day Twitter account, and maybe he might have done some name searching and may or may not have done some blocking of people who said anything potentially detrimental to his ability to get the head coaching job at a school where he was only special teams coordinator.
That fascinates me, like the name searching coaches. Like they'll just search
there's way more than you think.
There's a
way
bunch
more.
But the funny thing is, like, I'm trying to figure out what did the committee do to anger a coach to get blocked by? I haven't come across getting blocked by a coach yet. I know like some other folks have just like blocked us.
If the Auburn coach hasn't blocked us yet, we're never going to get blocked.
Are you sure? I don't
Speak of name searchers.
Okay. Well, that's why you just tweet a picture of him and then he can't search it.
Oh, the other big time coach that has me blocked is very regrettable. Mac Brown has me blocked from when I tweeted at him when I was a student. But I grew up a huge Texas fan, so now I'm like a huge Vince Young. I was in Dallas during that time, so it's that's kind of sad. I love Mac Brown.
We follow Mac Brown, and you want to know what his Twitter feed is? It's just random Texas highlights that he retweets. That's it. Like somebody's
even
talking
while
about
he was
this
at North
moment.
Carolina. Wow, just tweeting the 05
still
national
doing
title
that.
game over and over again.
I'm surprised he didn't block us with making fun of his Mac Brown's puffy coat, but
I do like the idea that he's just out here remembering some guys in his retirement.
If you look at his Twitter account, which I know Shehan probably can't, but I mean, get a burner account. If you need a burner to look at Mac Brown's Twitter.
Longhorn Network existed for 11 years, I can imagine.
But basically, it's there's a compliment of one of his former players or something, or hey, this was you never remember this moment of Texas football, and then Mac Brown just retweets it, and I'm like, who is retweeting Texas highlights? I know Jordan's a Texas fan, and then I just see at the very top Mac Brown retweet. That's what I do. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh man, yeah. The last 9 tweets that he's retweeted are all by Chris Bennett, who's a notable Texas fan who just posts Texas stuff.
Yes.
The last 9 of his tweets are just Mac Brown retweeting that guy.
That's what he does. I was he's just Texas, Texas 2005, 2006. That's what he searches. He doesn't search his name. He just searches those highlights.
Yeah, he just like me for real.
Go ahead, Commish.
No, I wanted to introduce Shehan if nobody knows him. He works for CBS now, huge Big 12 expert. As they already mentioned, Baylor grad. He worked for Dave Campbell's Texas football in the beginning, right?
Yeah. Actually, I was technically the second guy to ever cover college full time for them. Because David Ubben left in the spring, but the first one to ever do it during a full season. So I've kind of worn a bunch of different hats over the years, and I mean, still can't believe they're paying me to do this.
And you just won the FWAA, I guess, Young Writer of the Year, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it good
Ashoff
that
award.
they throw young in there? Is that really good?
Well, my first thought when I won it was I'm 31. I'm am I still really a rising star at this point? I kind of feel like I'm old at this point. I feel like I've been in the industry a while, but just to clear things up, the age cutoff for that award is 34 because Ed Ashoff, the great Ed Ashoff, died on his 34th birthday. So I will take any extra years available to me because it is a really cool trophy, I will say.
Awesome. I have to ask you, how much does the trophy weigh?
It's not heavy, but it's not light either. I mean, I'd probably guess a good 8 pounds or something like that. It's got a little bit of heft to it. It definitely just wanted to make sure that it wouldn't shift too much on my bookshelf, but thankfully no, it's kind of the perfect size for that kind of thing.
You got some rivalry trophies beat there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that we've got the broken bits of chair beat. I think we got the what oaken bucket. It's probably comparable to the skillet. That's probably about what we're working with.
Okay. All right, that's a good skillet. And then I'm just gonna give you the crown already. The best suit haver in the game. I will have to say that. If you ever see him on the sideline or at media days, always getting compliments on the suits. You don't have to give away your secrets or your tailor or where you get these suits from.
Oh, I'm all off the rack, man.
All off the rack. Okay.
Gatekeep it, Shehan. Gatekeep it.
Gatekeep it. I'm just imagining him at Marshall's.
This is probably something that's really happened yet. So
you have the default body. What they tailor off the rack to is you.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. No. The real story of why I do this is because, like I mentioned, I was obviously a student journalist, and if there's one thing that you know about being a student journalist, that nobody takes you seriously. Mm-hmm. And so immediately I was like, okay, well, the way that I can try to prove that I'm a professional is by dressing better than everybody else and kind of doing the dress for the job you want sort of thing. And back then that was oh, what if I wore a button up instead of a tank top or something, you know, whatever else everybody else was wearing. And people, you know, it seemed to work. And then so when I got professional jobs, I'm like, well, I got to take it a step further and a step further. And so, to be clear, I'm not walking around like day to day in one of my, because I've only got like 5 or 6 suits. Like, I don't have a lot. I just am really good at sequencing them so that it looks like it's something new every single time. I mean,
So
maybe once a year I'll bring out something new.
A little Marge Simpson with the pink dress thing. That she's got going on.
Exactly
yes.
right.
I mean, we don't have a video part of our podcast, so the people can't see that you're wearing an absolutely exquisite tuxedo right now.
That's right.
Yeah, at 9:20 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Dress for the occasion. Sicko's Committee podcast is certainly an occasion.
100%. Right after putting my daughter to bed, it was the perfect time to toss on a tuxedo.
You're just lucky it wasn't Penguins jersey night again.
I'm a Red Wings fan, and they were bullying me.
Listen, man, the 2000s happened. You got to eat this now.
Oh, the 2000s, when I was blank age.
Yeah, that thing that you don't remember.
Sorry. It's
okay. I'm a Bulls fan who was born in the 90s and doesn't remember any of it. It's really the worst. I just got to remember Kirk Heinrich. Like, it's not the same.
No.
All right. So we are continuing the 5 SPF, the Super Sicko Spinning Selection Season Preview Forecast with the Big 12s this evening. We're doing the podcast Wheel.
Yes.
We're doing the wheel. We're doing it the first half of the show because doing the podcast backwards is how we show welcome to our guests.
That's right.
So Commish, if you will do the honors of spinning the wheel for the big. We got to read the records.
First, we got to read
the stuff into the record first. I'm getting things all out of order because we're doing all of this backwards.
Read the records into the records.
It's opposite day. Commish, would you care to read the record for the Big 12?
I would definitely go ahead and do that here. So basically, this is how 2024 finished. Arizona State won the Big 12, 7-2 in the Big 12, 11-3 overall. Iowa State lost the championship game, 7-2 in the Big 12, 11-3 overall. BYU 7-2 in the Big 12, 11-2 overall after that big Alamo Bowl win that I was in attendance for in San Antonio. Colorado 7-2 in the conference, 9-4 overall. Baylor 6-3 in conference, 8-5 overall. TCU 6-3 in conference, 9-4 overall. Texas Tech 6-3 in conference, 8-5 overall. Kansas State 5-4 in conference, 9-4 overall. West Virginia 5-4 in conference, 6-7 overall. They fired their coach, much to Beth's dismay. Well, I mean, at the time she was happy.
I wasn't sad about them firing Neil Brown. It was the rest of it.
What happened after? Kansas 4-5. Playing in like Arrowhead and Nomad, 5-7 overall. Cincinnati 3-6 in conference, 5-7 overall. Houston 3-6 in conference, 4-8 overall. Utah 2-7 in conference because Cam Rising did not rise at all last year, 5-7 overall. Arizona 2-7 in conference, 4-8 overall. UCF 2-7 in conference, 4-8 overall. Bye to the Gus Bus. Oklahoma State. This shocked me. I forgot they went winless in the Big 12. 0-9 in conference, 3-9 overall. So
that Gundy gap year, it's going to get you.
Perfect non-conference record for Oklahoma State.
They beat Arkansas. Like, people forget that.
They should not have won that game.
Undefeated out of conference. That's what you put the headline on for last year. Undefeated out of conference.
And for those of you keeping track at home, that is correct. There are more than 12 teams in this conference.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. There's
I had to go from writing like lists and previews for 10 teams to 16, and my salary did not go up 60%.
This is bullshit. This is how it always happens. This is bull.
That's how they get you.
Think about all those Pac-12 writers that have now their workload is so much less.
Yeah, but now they have to learn Texas State too.
Well, I mean, imagine if you're a Cal Pac-12 writer.
Oh, there's so many teams. So many.
It's just so much. Stanford too. I'm just like SMU's like, what is going on?
Every preview is suddenly long form.
Yes, it is. It's ridiculous. So basically, for this thing, what we do is I randomly spin a wheel of all the Big 12 teams, whatever it lands on, we'll talk about them. I'll let Shehan say something about the team, because you can maybe give us the prediction where you had them in the preseason poll that didn't exist. Like you said, you had one. You were going to rank them. So you can give them your ranking and say something about interesting about the team, and we'll join
because
in.
you actually know things, unlike us
do,
idiots.
which
Unlike us who just read their schedules in funny accents.
Yes, we do that. And then we're gonna spin the picker wheel that we have. We have 60 some odd questions, random questions that are not necessarily football related, but some are, and just fun things that we tend to Google and laugh about the teams, because that's how we preview our teams. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. The first team up. Oh my God, this spins forever, right?
You're gonna have to slow it down.
I think there's a setting you can change.
There is.
TCU
Okay.
is first. The Horned Frogs. Are they going to be better this year, Shehan?
I think they are. You know what's funny about TCU is that if you eliminate the first season under Sonny Dykes, the 2022 season, they're just doing a normal rebuild. Like they won 5 games in year 2 if it was year 1, and then 9 games last year, and now they bring back a lot of guys and have a really good quarterback and have a good coaching staff overall. And I kind of think that might be what's actually happening. That's the case that Sonny Dykes made to us at Big 12 Media Days. He said at the podium, I would be disappointed if we're not in the Big 12 title game. Now, I'm not all the way there as yet, but I do think that they're going to be one of those teams that is right there at the end of the year. For me, I had them kind of right in the 5-6 range. I consider them the top of my tier 2. And so I think that they're absolutely one of those teams that has the upside of being in Arlington. Now, the big sort of question marks for them are, 1, can they fix the running game? They were really, really bad at running the ball last year. And 2, can they find a way to replace their 2 NFL receivers, Savion Williams and Jack Besh? If they're able to do those things, which they have the talent to do it, especially at receiver. I mean, Eric McAllister, it was one of their top guys, and he's coming back. I think that this team is very underrated defensively, and they've got a great quarterback in Josh Hoover, who I think is right in that top group of the Big 12. So I think that they are a very undervalued team coming into the year. And one other thing that I'll mention about them, I don't think people realize that TCU is the best recruiting team in the Big 12. Year in, year out, they are the number 1 recruiting team in the Big 12. So I think that they have more roster depth than people realize. That doesn't mean that they're going to win the league, but I think they're going to be a lot closer than people think.
It's kind of weird, what happened with Sonny Dykes is hey, it's first year, and then we're in the national championship game.
Yeah.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
It's nice that we did.
He's basically said that explicitly. Man, I mean, obviously I'm never going to be mad about that, but it kind of screwed us in a lot of ways. He said that explicitly.
It's like when you start a career mode in the F1 video game, and you pick you want to do a rags to riches thing, so you pick Williams, but the difficulty's way too low, so you accidentally win a race.
So Sonny Dykes played the Big 12 on let's just say freshman mode his first year.
Yeah.
And then he was
didn't mean to do that.
I didn't mean to do that. And then he upped it to All-American or Heisman the next year, and he was maybe varsity is okay.
Now, to be clear, this is exactly what you should do when you start a new job. You should play your national championship team and then coast off. The issue is that in year 2 of being a football coach, you actually have to play games and you actually lose them. Whereas in a regular job, you're just no, my reputation's great. I just keep on coasting.
Okay. Our wheel question for this one: would the mascot look better with teeth, or would removing teeth improve it? Oh my God, there's no teeth on this mascot.
The Horned
mascot has been nightmarish.
It has horns. Think about how much worse it would be if the frog had teeth.
What kind of teeth are we giving the frog? That's my question.
I think bird teeth, obviously.
So it
a Louisville situation.
Now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have teeth now.
Yeah, give him the big Louisville smile, and then it's really scary.
I mean, Frogs also don't have teeth. Although the like drawn logo of the
drawn
frog
logo has
does kind
teeth.
of have teeth.
See,
Yeah.
I want to give it like the old Drexel dragon teeth.
Oh my! I gotta find. Where is it?
Hang on.
Drexel dragon teeth.
I know I'm about to be upset about this.
Mascot teeth.
Okay, so they're kind of like jagged. They're kind of
Oh,
like
yep.
that sort of.
Like,
Oh,
very
God,
very
yeah.
dragony teeth.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that the mascot would look horrendous with teeth. Like I think that it would look. Now the question is like, okay, so it's a frog, but the frog is actually a toad. But anyway, not getting into the etymology of all of that. But like, what if we gave it like Barney teeth? Like, what if we gave it like sort of like the
Ooh.
flat
Flat
all
teeth.
the way around
Mm,
sort of thing?
That
Okay.
could work.
Yeah,
I
I mean
love
that's sort of
you.
like the Illinois State Redbird's teeth, right?
Okay,
like
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
have to like that
Yeah.
could work.
Got the
It's
horse
a little
teeth.
less threatening.
What is the God? I'm blanking
not
on the
not
tractor
quite
that they
Frankie
have.
the Fryer teeth, but headed in that direction.
I'm blanking on the tractor they have on. It's the frog horn on the sidelines.
Yes, the frog
Yes.
horn.
They have teeth on the frog horn, right?
That's a
Ain't it,
great
right?
question.
You got to give it the frog horn teeth. TCU.
I'm looking for pictures of this. It's smiling and it has teeth,
It's-
but
Okay,
it's
yes.
It's the
But it
white
also
abyss
has
of
like
teeth.
cheeks.
Yeah.
That's something that really isn't part of
that
a
is
frog. in
terrifying.
general.
yeah, this is upsetting. I didn't even realize that the froghorn had a face, and now I wish I didn't know that.
I don't think I've looked that closely at it.
The frog horn is it is
All
pretty
right.
terrifying.
When I'm at a TCU game this year, I'll take a picture of it from the front just for y'all.
Thank you.
Just tag us and be like, you know what this means. No context needed.
You already
this
know
is-
what time it is.
This is definitely not a threat. I promise.
This was a good question to like start out on, so you can get an idea of
Oh
the kind of
my God.
previews we're
You
going
have
to be
an idea
doing.
of the questions that couldn't show up for this. Next up is the Big 12 champs, the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Consider him.
Kenny Dillingham. We're considering him. We got to interview Kenny Dillingham at the Bear Bryant Awards, which I tried to interview him, but I couldn't really ask him a question. I just had to like praise everything that he did because it was an awesome year. It was very difficult to like, except like,
call.
hey, how do you get people to go to really, really hot Arizona? And he was like, it's nice. For like,
I guess you're right. I guess you're right,
I'm
Coach.
like, sure. He's like, come on out. It's tough for like 3 months of the year. And I'm like, are you sure? Just 3?
Yeah, I think you practice early in the morning or late at night. I think that's how you do it.
Yes.
My dad has a story of being in Phoenix or Glendale for a Coyotes preseason game and stepping onto the asphalt and hearing his shoes sizzle.
Arizona is a monument to mankind's arrogance.
Yeah. Well, to rush through the football part a little bit.
Yes.
Oh,
Where
so-
did you have him in your hypothetical
So
Big 12?
I had them number 2 in mind. I
Okay.
think that they are right
no
there.
disrespect this year. Like they were
no
picked last,
disrespect.
and
no
they had to
disrespect.
scrap the poll because the Sun Devils scrapped the poll.
Yes. So I don't think that people realize that. I promise I won't just start every preview with I don't think people realize. But I don't think that people realize that Arizona State's like top 5 in returning production. Like they bring back everybody but Cam Scatterby. Now,
Yeah.
Cam Scatterby is a big deal, but they brought in 2 additional guys. Kanye Udo coming over from Army, who was 1,100-yard rusher last year.
Yes.
And then they bring back from injury Raleek Brown, who was a former 5-star who started at USC, who didn't play last year for them. And also the primary backup, Kyson Brown, is back. So, like, they kind of are going to try to do an in aggregate sort of thing, not necessarily trying to find the next Cam Scatterby. But, like, their quarterback, Sam Levitt's back. The vast majority of their offensive line is back. Jordan Tyson at receiver is back. I think he'll be a first-team All-American. Their defense is essentially completely back, including defensive tackle CJ Fight and safety Xavier Alford. Like, they essentially bring back everybody from their team last year. And I think, they're going to be right there, in my opinion. I mean, having a player like Levitt on offense just gives you a floor that I think is different than most teams in the Big 12. And I think that they left a lot of meat on the bone defensively last year.
Yeah,
Like
they they struggle defensively for sure.
Yeah, and I think that especially when you look at their front, I mean, they bring back some guys who. The thing that I love about what they've done is that the guys who have thrived for them have been second-year transfers, and they have a lot of guys now who are third-year transfers who are super talented. Clayton Smith and Prince Dorba kind of being key guys at pass rusher for them. So, like, I actually think that they'll take a noticeable step forward on defense. And I expect the offense to still be really good. Now, like, Sam Levitt has to be more of a 3,500-yard guy instead of a 2,900-yard guy. But, like, clearly he's capable of that. And so, no, I mean, this is a team that, again, they will be one of the several teams that's left at the end of the year.
I had mentioned in the, I think the March top 30 we did, which was totally not randomized, Kanye Udo going from West Point to Tempe is enough cultural whiplash that he should start the season on concussion protocol.
I kind of think so. Definitely. For our question, pronounce every game and stadium on the schedule in the following voice. Beth, it's your Minnesota accent time.
Oh,
Yay!
no. Okay.
Get ready.
So every game. Got it.
Every game.
Let's go, bud.
That's right.
Okay, so the dangerous thing about Arizona State is that they don't have a whole lot of water. And so they play on the sun. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but they do. And so this is sort of their quest for water. And I got to tell you, it's not going to go very well. So for their opener, they're inviting Northern Arizona down. So they don't even get to enjoy Lake St. Mary's in Flagstaff. They have to come down and play on the sun. That's not nice to do to the Jacks. Now, in their second game, they're going to be headed to Mississippi State. Is there water there?
I would think there's water in Starkville. I would hope.
I think a lot of it's in the air.
Oh, it's one of those places where you just sort of walk around with your mouth open and it takes care of it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, you betcha. So then they're going to be going back to Arizona State, and they have Texas State coming in, and they're going to probably roast Boko the Bobcat on a spit, which is pretty awful. But for their next game, they're going to Baylor. I don't know what's in Baylor. It's somewhere in Texas.
It's in Waco. Can you say Waco?
Oh, it's in Waco. So then they get to take a Texas thing home, because then TCU is going back to Arizona State to play on the sun. Then after that, they're going up to Utah. I don't know why you'd go to Utah if you were looking for water, but that's what they decided to do. Then
it's salt water.
But there's less and less of it. Does that help?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, maybe it'll help with electrolytes. So then Texas Tech is going to be going to Arizona State. Then they're welcoming in Houston the following week. That's in October. Then we move on to November. In November, they're going the whole way to Ames, Iowa. So at the very least, maybe someone will bottle some corn sweat for them or something, because they're going to be awfully bad at that point.
We know there's water in Ames. They've got the good tap water in Ames.
Come on, the best tap water in America.
But they can't share. I mean, that's Midwestern nice, sure, but you've got to have some sort of a competitive advantage. So then they're going to be hosting my West Virginia Mountaineers, which is probably going to go pretty badly for them. Then they are going to Colorado, which is very pretty. And there is some water, but it's mostly on the mountain, so maybe they can light a fire or something. Then for the last game of the season, they're welcoming the Wildcats back at home. That's Arizona. That's a lot of Arizonas in one place. To be clear, I've been to Minnesota once for less than 2 days.
Beth, you are an artist.
Just miss. Okay, the return of the frost. UCF is up next.
It's Scott Frost Day?
Scott Frost Day.
Happy Scott Frost Day.
Well, if it's Scott Frost Day until they win a game, they might be waiting a little while. I do not understand what the plan is here, and I feel like I tried to ask Scott Frost that specifically at media days, and he didn't give me a very straight answer, and I don't love that. I have them pick 16th. I think that they're gonna be. I think there's talent, but like I don't know if there's any plan for it really. Like they just have a bunch of guys. And when you talk to people around that program, they kind of were like, oh, we arrived here and we couldn't believe like how few guys we had here. I'm like, okay, yeah, but like it's July now. Like it's time for you to tell me what guys you have. I don't. I like their quarterback. I think that Taven Jackson coming over from Indiana, he looked pretty good when he was asked to start a couple of games when Curtis Short was hurt last year. I think that he's pretty dynamic. They have like Mackenzie Milton's on staff. That's fun. That's
Alex
kinda...
Grinch is the D coordinator. That should go well.
Yeah. I do think that Alex Grinch makes more sense as a defensive coordinator on Scott Frost's staff at UCF than he does trying to coach like an elite blue blood program with the way he coaches, like the style he coaches. But like, I don't know, man. Like this is as weird a situation as there is in college football this year.
And now that they've been picked 16th in the preseason poll, they will win the conference.
That's right.
Would it be fair for me to articulate this year's UCF as fuck it, we're doing it live?
There's a couple of those in the Big 12, but they are the most certainly. And they're they're literally at Disney, so that actually that makes a lot of sense.
All right. The question we got for UCF, it says attempt to find the weirdest named school building on campus.
Okay.
What's the hotel management school called?
I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
We
campus.
get the
Let's
largest campus, and we have to look at.
I know we got the biggest school in like. Is this the United States or so? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God, there's so many dots on
There's
this
so
map.
many buildings.
The Rosen College of Hospitality Management is in a building also called that.
Okay.
All right, the Stormwater Research Lab. I found a list. Unfortunately, it's 36 pages long.
36
Jesus
pages
Christ.
of buildings.
I'm not kidding.
All right.
One thing I'm noticing looking at this, at least, so I'm just looking at Google Maps.
I mean,
so
we're
they
going to
may
go
or
the
may
whole
not
way
have
through this.
the official names for all of these buildings, but people always say about UCF, they're very new money. And I'm kind of seeing that now with how few buildings are named after people versus how many buildings are just like the UCF blank.
May I submit for consideration the Paramore parking garage?
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to go through 36 pages of stuff only for us to just go,
there's the
you're not going to
Paramore
outdo the Acrisure bounce house.
Sponsored by Haley Williams.
Yeah, I was
He's
going
not
to say
gonna
a
do
lot
that.
of misery business happening in that parking garage.
That
right
park
there.
garage, definitely.
There we go.
There we go. Got a Paramore reference in.
The Daytona Beach Business Incubator.
Ooh, I
Wait,
don't
is
want
that
to
What
be.
real?
it's called?
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
Oh.
I don't want to be incubated in Daytona.
I feel like the Daytona Beach Business Incubator is just like it's infested with t-shirt shops. Like they didn't try to grow that there, but it won't leave.
Do they have something called the Ron John Surf Shops campus building?
The business incubator is going to give us COVID too, but it's going to have no vowels and it's going to be an app.
The dorms, at least in this area of the school, appear to be called the Neptune District, and there's the Nike community and the Hercules community.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a lot of there's definitely a lot of buildings that are just called like building.
There's the Feller's House Research Station.
Oh my God.
There's the UCF Marriage Institute.
Oh, I don't want to know about that. I do not want to know anything else about the Marriage Institute at a university in Florida. Nope.
Mobile ultra fast high energy laser facility.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. All right, moving on. Something a little bit less crazy. We're gonna go to Utah, and Shehan, just tell me how much you love Devin Dampier as much as I do.
Oh yeah, I love him. Now I will say, a little crazy to me that like all of a sudden they've got the top odds in the Big 12. I don't know where that came from. But this should be a team that's a lot better this year. I actually have them 5th in my rankings, just ahead of TCU. So like it is 100% conceivable that they take a leap. I think it's a lot to expect them to just take that massive leap, but I do think that they are right there. So, obviously defensively, this is one of the best programs in college football. They do it every single year. That's just what they do. And the other thing about them on offense is that they have the best offensive tackle combo in all of college football in Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu. Both guys projected to be potentially top 15 draft picks. Like, they are big time on the offensive line. So what's interesting about it is I actually, again, I got a chance to talk to their staff, and like, they viewed bringing in this offense with Jason Beck in New Mexico and Devin Dampier as like kind of a return to like some of the urban stuff, right? Some of the option power based stuff that they did back in the early 2000s. And the thing that I love about it is that the floor should be so much higher with an offense like this. Like, they were trying to run this pro style stuff with the bad quarterback, bad protection, and bad receivers, and it's like, what are we doing here, man? Like, it was nuts. So I think that with Dampier coming in, like, they're going to be able to move the ball a little bit. I kind of question whether they're going to be good enough in the passing game to win the league, just because of the transition as a passer for Devin Dampier, and they don't have a ton of weapons around him. But like, I think that, like, take the last 2 years of Utah football and replace literally the worst offense in the power conferences with like an average offense, and that team is winning 8 or 9 games. And I think there's more upside than that, but for me, I think that I kind of have them at a safe number 5.
Okay, good. This one, it says the closest non-Division I school to them in Salt Lake.
Is it Dixie State? Sorry. Now Utah Tech. That's
way
known?
Down in South Utah.
Okay,
That's way down there.
There's probably some like little bitty schools in Salt Lake City that we don't know about.
It says there's something that's called Westminster University.
Yep,
is what I got.
Okay.
I don't even know what it is. It just
also Salt Lake Community College, Taylorsville.
Okay.
Westminster University, Division II, the Griffins in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, alongside our beloved School of Mines.
Whoa, cool.
So is Westminster like? Are they like Anglican? Are they like full Church of England, only in the middle of Utah?
I don't know.
They appear to be. It just says private, so probably
Westminster
private.
University.
They used to be Westminster College, and before that, they were Sheldon Jackson College.
It was a private university founded in Sheldon Jackson College. Okay, that's weird. Does it have like any? They're just the Griffins, which is great.
They were named in honor of their primary benefactor, Presbyterian minister Sheldon Jackson.
Okay.
All right.
When you hear names sometimes that were changed, you just get a little worried. So I'm glad that it was just some minister.
There's also a 2-year school called Ensign College in Salt Lake City. It is owned and operated by the LDS Church.
That's crazy.
Up next,
funny how that works.
We got Baylor.
Okay.
And Mr. Dave Aranda. We won't talk about his comments, which apparently were in context, but was still weird.
I was actually in the room for it. I actually asked the question right after it, and I got probably 17 texts about it afterwards. But, the funny thing is that, so if you've never heard Dave Aranda talk, he does use tons of like references and metaphors, but like he'll reference like children's books. Like he's talked about like the Velveteen Rabbit in a press conference and stuff like that. That's so like, it's not unusual that he'd make kind of a weird reference, but this was a different kind of weird reference that I did not see coming, to be quite honest. Anyway, if you haven't seen that video,
Sawyer's the quarterback, right?
Yes. So their quarterback is Sawyer Robertson. And so the story with Baylor is that they have, I think, far and away the best quarterback running back combo in the Big 12. And they're up there in college football, to be frank. So Sawyer Robertson at quarterback was a breakout player last year. If you look at metrics like QBR, like he's the top returner in QBR in the country. And Bryson Washington was clearly the best running back in the Big 12 that's returning with the way that he exploded at the end of last year, was a 1,000-yard rusher as a redshirt freshman, even though he didn't take over the starting job until part of the way through the season. And the combination of them plus their offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital, plus 4 offensive linemen returning just gives them potentially as much upside as anybody in the Big 12 and makes them, I think, a very legitimate contender for to be in that top 15, 20 conversation. In my preseason rankings, I had them 3rd, only behind Arizona State and another team that we'll get to.
Another nameless team. Ooh.
Yeah, another nameless team.
Solid teams.
The funny thing about this being obviously a Dave Aranda team is that like the question kind of is like, okay, are they going to figure things out on defense? They really, really struggled against the pass last year, and they brought in some guys to try to help. One of those key guys, Devin Turner, tore his ACL, so he's out at safety for the year. So like, they've really got to find some answers on the back end, especially for Baylor to have the kind of upside that they want to have on defense. But they're super experienced. They're phenomenal at linebacker. They're much improved on the defensive line. And again, when you mix that with an offense that, I mean, I think it would be disappointing if it's not at least one of the best in the conference, if not the best. I think it's going to give them a chance to be really good. I mean, they won their last 6 Big 12 games last year. And by the way, if Shedeur Sanders doesn't connect on a Hail Mary, Baylor's in the Big 12 title game last year. That's how close they were last year.
Yeah, I still can't believe that got completed. Which I don't know how he caught that, but it just like it was almost caught, and then like they did it again. I'm like, okay, y'all got to defend the second. The first one was like almost caught, and then the second one was like, hey, we're doing it again, and it was caught. I'm like, what? But I'm sure you had a different reaction because you're Baylor.
Well, I had kind of like turned away because I'm like, okay, that game's over, no problem. My phone blew up, and all my friends wanted to die.
All right, so this should be a good question for Shehan here. Let me. What Gen X millennial cartoon universe would you like the Baylor mascot to appear in? What the Baylor mascot? Where are we going? Hey, there's a Mrs. Baylor bear, right?
There is. That was a new addition late.
Okay.
Like I think after I graduated, they introduced the Mrs. Baylor mascot. Yes. Don't really get it, but that's beside
Bruiser and Marigold.
Yes. That's a good question.
I feel like the obvious answer is Care Bears.
It feels like redundancy. It feels like redundancy.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know.
What if we drop them into Adventure Time?
I feel like that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough. This is tougher than I expected. I mean, what if you what about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like what
We're sending the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Waco.
To Waco, Texas.
Okay.
Lord knows I'm sure there's sewers down there.
Man, we can't get good pizza here.
They'll come out of the water surrounding McLean Stadium.
There you go.
Yes, let's put it with that one.
I will throw in an honorable mention for the short-lived but much beloved Attack of the Killer Tomatoes cartoon adaptation from 1990.
Okay.
Throwing bears into that just makes me happy.
That's good. That's really good.
I have questions that we don't have time for.
Up next, we're throwing it to tortillas in Lubbock, where Shehan won. This is the one you won the award for, right?
It was just very convenient timing. Actually, Wednesday I dropped that big story. Thursday I won the award, and so everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Shehan's just the greatest." I'm like, "This is great timing for me, man. I'm having a great week."
I was wrong then. Okay, I assumed.
No, so I mentioned that I left a nameless team atop the Big 12, and that team is Texas Tech, and there's a couple reasons for it. Okay, so first, when you look at Texas Tech, like last year they won 8 games, 6 of them were by 1 score. And here's the real reason that they did what they did this offseason, is that they don't want to play 6 1-score games. They want to be able to put away the teams that don't belong with them, right? They want to be able to have teams that don't hang with them. And that's why when you look at what they did, I mean, they brought in 3 of the best offensive line transfers in the nation and 3 of the best defensive line and linebacker transfers in the nation. It's because they wanted to just dominate lesser teams in the trenches. And I think that's going to be the most important factor of all of it. Like everybody's like, well, you did all that and like your quarterback's still only bearing more. Like, yeah, but the point is like they don't want it to be a game when they play Cincinnati or whoever, right? So like that's one part of it. So like their goal was to essentially limit their schedule to as much as possible. So they play like 4 sort of real games, right? If you split those 2 or those 4 and go 2-2, like that's 10 wins and you're playing in Arlington most likely. And that's the situation. That's their goal. That's really what this is all about. And I think that when you look up and down, they have a pretty manageable schedule. They have a tough road schedule. Their home schedule, they should frankly dominate. Like they have no excuses to lose a home game this year with what they've got. But, they go on the road. They play Utah on the road. They play Arizona State on the road. They play Kansas State on the road. 3 tough games. But again, win one of those, and I think that you're fine. And the other thing, too, is that I think that you look at their team. I mean, again, they're going to be as good a defensive line and pass rush as there's ever been in the Big 12 outside of Texas and Oklahoma. Like, they are going to be freakish. David Daly, Romello Height, Lee Hunter. And I think that they will still be more dynamic than people think on offense. Quentin Joyner's a guy who I know at running back. Like, a lot of people wanted that guy because they thought he was underutilized at USC. And so there are definitely flaws with this team, but their flaws are so much smaller than almost everybody else. I think that's going to give them a chance to win the league.
Okay. The question is, this team mirrors Notre Dame's season last year. So they win their first game, they lose their second game, and then they make the playoff. How does that turn out?
I mean, now we have to check the schedule.
Yes.
They open with Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Okay.
Yes,
so they win the first game. Who's
and
the
then
second
they
opponent?
lose to Kent State.
Oh,
Right to hell! Right to hell, baby!
That would be pretty
And then
much
they make
what
the
Notre
playoff.
Dame did. Yeah, that would pretty much be what Notre Dame did.
St. Francis is.
My God. You got to be kidding me. They played Kent State. It's just like the MAC.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened to Notre Dame. I'm going to die laughing if that happens.
Kent State winning a game on their Ride to Hell tour, and Mercyhurst stood there like, maybe us. Maybe us.
Maybe Mercyhurst to FCS.
Man, I'll tell you what, though. Texas Tech is legitimately probably like the biggest winner of BYU losing their quarterback. Like, because that game not really being a game potentially, like, it's like, okay, well, they close with BYU, UCF, West Virginia. Like, no problem. Like, that sounds totally fine. And, like, again, if that was a huge game late in the month of November, it's like, oh, well, that changed your season a lot.
Yes. Up next, we have the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah.
What do we got?
They will field a football team. No,
Fresh air
I
and
have.
exercise.
So I did leave preview season and media days feeling better about Arizona than I did going in.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Brett Brennan.
Yeah.
Like he had San Jose State like done, and then he got there, and then I feel like there was like the team like kind of broke apart pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like there was some drama behind the scenes, and then maybe he's gotten it straightened a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, so it's interesting. And I do have them pick 15th in the Big 12. I think that like the last 4 or 5, like they're just in a tough spot because of how good the top 10 or so are. But like I think they're going to be very competitive even if they don't win a ton of games. So Brent Brennan basically went into his team meeting room over the offseason back in December and was like, look, obviously, when he came there was this core of guys, like the guys who were left behind with Nofafita and Tetroya McMillan and all these guys, right? And a bunch of them had considered going to Washington. A bunch of them had decided not to. But he went in and was basically like, look, if you're not 100% sure that you want to be here, please just leave. Like, please do not be here, essentially. And no hard feelings, but like, we just can't do this again next year. And I think that he was able to put together a team that at least buys into what he wants and like who actively definitely wants to be there. That's a low bar, you could say, but like
it felt like
that's
Fafita and McMillan were just like the whole offense. Like they just kept trying to feed each other, and then there was no cohesion on offense.
And this is partially informed, partially speculation. Like a lot was put on him last season from there were pressures outside that maybe had a lot of say in how he was allowed to build his team last year, whether it was who they brought in, as assistant coaches, whether it was how stylistically they were going to play. Like, I think that he was kind of neutered in some. Now, again, the thing that you also say is like, dude, you're the coach at Arizona. They shouldn't be able to do that to you, but like that, we're past that, obviously. And so they brought in an offense with a quarterback, by the way. Seth Dagey is running that offense now. Texas Tech legend, of course. But they're going to be very air raid. They're going to be they're going to try to get Nofafita in as good positions as possible. I think they're better than people think on defense. They got a running back in Ishmael Mahdi coming up from Texas State, who's like a, really dynamic, versatile player. So like, I think they're going to have some spark, even if they're not very good.
Okay. The picker wheel said that this team's first game is now played in a country with the same letter of the school. So Arizona's A. Their first game is against Hawaii, and we have to pick the country. So we need a country starting with the letter A where they're playing Hawaii.
To Albania.
Would Australia make sense?
Yeah, Andorra.
Andorra.
You're playing this game in a microstate.
They have a stadium. They've got a soccer team in the Spanish league.
They do.
I think that Azerbaijan's the move, personally.
Oh,
play it on the streets of Baku, like everything else.
Hawaii versus Arizona and Azerbaijan. Okay.
Listen, everybody's like, because my thing was when Michigan announced their game, I'm like, dude, nobody in Germany is going to go watch semi-pro football. Like, that's just not going to happen. Now, in Azerbaijan, I think that they might have some fun with some semi-pro football.
Put it in that Eurovision stadium they didn't deserve because Running Scared was a terrible winner.
On that note, we're talking about Kansas. They got a new stadium now. They don't have to be nomads. Is that going to make them better?
And they didn't even win Eurovision to get it.
Not for lack of trying.
So I've Kansas 9th in my preseason rankings. I think that they're kind of the like they'd be what I consider the floor of like the teams that I think can jump up. I think that they have that ability. They're probably the longest shot, but they have it. Jalen Daniels is back again. We're doing the thing. But in the second half of last year, like he really improved. He really, really started to get comfortable. The big question for them is they actually turn over the vast majority of their skill talent. They had a bunch of 5th and 6th year guys at receiver last year. Obviously Devin Neal at running back was like one of the best players to ever play at Kansas. They had 2 all Big 12 defensive backs and Mello Dotson and Kobe Bryant, and all those guys are gone now. They feel like they're athletically potentially going to be able to upgrade in some of those spots, especially at receiver. Like they had a bunch of underneath guys. They want to go down the field, but it's still going to be a little bit of a question mark whether they're physical enough defensively to be good. Now, one thing that I think will be a huge deal is that their offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes moved on. I think he left behind a really good offensive line, and they're handing the keys over to somebody who worked very closely with Andy Kotelnicki before he left. And so they're going to be more weird and optiony and misdirection-y, which I like. I think it just gets back to their identity a little bit. So I think that they have a chance to have a pretty good year. And also, if I recall correctly, I don't think that their schedule is that hard.
Okay. The question that we have is, the year is 2052. What conference is this team in?
The Big
The
East.
Big 12 is eternal.
It'll never die. I kind of feel like they're in the ACC just for basketball reasons.
Why? That's a downgrade.
I know, yeah. The Big 12 is way better in basketball now, besides the blinding court that they have.
Well, no, because
as
of the
an
blinding
ACC
court.
fan, I am honored that you think the ACC will survive that long.
Well, the real answer, I feel, to this question is that we're going to have a break off of the football conferences and the basketball conferences and the other sport conferences, and they're going to be totally different. So you really have to ask me, what sport are we talking about? If we're talking about football, yeah, a bizarro, bastardized Big 12.
Okay.
Kansas to the Ivy.
Kansas to the Ivy League.
And in basketball, the Atlantic 10.
Basketball, they're in the A10. This is perfect. Up next, Iowa State.
Providence is pissed.
The FARMO'GEDDON. I'm excited. I love Iowa State. I really don't like that some of the media, I'm not going to say names, but some of the media is just like, they're like skipping over week 0. I'm like, this is kind of like a bit of a de facto, like, hey man, this could make or break the Big 12 here, like in week 0. I feel like there's a chance.
So first of all, by the time I assume this podcast is posted, I will have a column out on why actually rankings are good. But and this game plays a pretty notable part in why I feel that way, because it's two teams that are in the top 20. And I think that if casuals think like, oh, it's Iowa State, Kansas State, why would I care about that? It's like, no, actually, it's a better football game than Alabama, Florida State. Like it objectively is. And if you're somebody who doesn't follow the sport religiously, probably don't know that. But it's interesting, right? So Iowa State, I'm of two minds about Iowa State, because I have them picked 7th right now, firmly in the second tier for me, but with the ability to move up. So like, they brought in 2 receiver transfers who are good, in Chase Sowell and Xavier Townsend. But like, if they are all Big 12 players, they could still be way worse than what they had there last year, because Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel were like phenomenal, both day 2 NFL draft picks. And the other thing too is that they were able to develop a lot of depth, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because they dealt with a ton of injuries. But like, all their top end guys are kind of gone now, outside of Jeremiah Cooper. Like, Bo Freiler had been a 4-year starter for them. They just had a lot of guys who were mainstays for them who are now gone. And so I'm a little bit more moderate on them than I feel like most are, because I just don't know whether they have like the way that, and this is true with a lot of teams in the Big 12. It's like the way that you build a Big 12 title team is you're good everywhere, and then you have some elite guys to pull you up at those spots, right? Like, obviously last year you have the receivers, like Kansas State had like Deuce Vaughn, like, you kind of have like those dynamic guys who make the difference per se. And like, I don't know if Iowa State has those guys. They've got the baseline, but like, if I knew for sure that like Abu Sama, the running back, was going to rush for 1,200 yards, I'd feel a lot better about it. But like, I just don't know if they're going to be very good and not have a great in them.
There's one thing that I used to be like, when's Matt Campbell going to leave? And I'm like, now I don't want him to go ever.
No,
and I want him
forever,
I want him to outlast Ferentz. Like coach at Iowa State longer than Kirk Ferentz, which is saying something, but I want that. The question that we have is, it's the September Maryland scenario. This team goes undefeated through the end of September. Who do they beat, and how does the season finish?
Okay, so that has them beating K-State and Ireland.
Okay, they win FARMO'GEDDON.
South Dakota. They win Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
They win against Arkansas State and they beat Arizona.
Wait, they're going at Arkansas State? What?
They're
Yes.
playing at Arkansas
I
State.
was
In
not aware of that
Jonesboro?
either.
Yep.
In Jonesboro.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
they
you
must
that is
want
gotta
what the
recruit
schedule graphic
Jonesboro,
says.
man.
I
You
think
gotta
I think
recruit-
Ames Water has to check out. They have to check out the waterfall in Jonesboro. They have
There
to check
are
it out. in this
some
city.
degenerate road trips this year. Like just
September 13th is so strange for
and I
road
need
trips.
Oh.
more of them.
Yes.
September seems like it's the easiest portion of the schedule. Like this is a
I
if they get
Yeah.
if they get through K-State, has a pretty legitimate chance of happening. And then you
Yeah.
come out of September, you've got Cincinnati next. That seems like a win. Colorado could
I don't-
probably a
I don't-
win.
Yeah.
Then you got a toss up against BYU, probably a loss to Arizona State, toss up to TCU, Kansas again probably toss up, and then you probably beat Oklahoma State. It's still probably a very good Iowa State team.
Yeah. Well, and I think that the K-State game is the most important game of the season by far. I think that whoever wins that game is a Big 12 contender. Whoever loses that game is not a Big 12 contender.
Yeah.
It's just too important to what each has. Because, like you said, I mean, on that back half, like every game individually isn't too bad, but Iowa State gets BYU, Arizona State at TCU versus Kansas all in a row, right? Like you're losing one in there and maybe two. And so if you've already got that loss to K-State at the beginning of the year, all of a sudden this is an 8-4, 9-3 year. Whereas if you win that game, you're still very much in the 10-win conversation.
There's also the fact that they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in before they hit a bye. Like it's back to back to back to back to back. It's not till you
Wait,
get to
do
that
they not have
October.
a bye
They have
after
a bye
Ireland?
on September 20th too. But like
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they got a
Yeah.
bye there. Okay.
after the at Arkansas State game, they get a bye.
And you need that after going to Jonesboro.
You do definitely. You gotta delouse.
But
You
yes,
got to rinse the Butch Jones off of you.
To answer your question, Commish, no, they do not get a bye after going to Ireland, because after coming back from Ireland, they got to play South Dakota.
the
Yep.
Coyotes.
Yep.
Okay.
7
right.
days later, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, at least out of the 4 Dakotas, that's probably the one that you want.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
one, South Dakota
No,
or North Dakota.
you want the Fighting
want the
Hawks
state.
out of the 4.
You
Yeah.
probably want the Hawks this year, I think. Yeah.
In anything but hockey, it's North Dakota.
Having been to Ireland, the jet lag on the way back is so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, just ask Boston College last year.
Hey,
Just ask
Florida State, you
Northwestern
mean.
a couple years ago. They never got over it.
I mean, Florida State never got over it last year.
That's what I meant by Boston College, because they beat the hell out of Florida State next week.
Up next, it's BYU. The Cougs. They had some. We don't need to talk about what happened to their quarterback. I mean, what do they look like? Because when I saw them in the Alamo Bowl, they just seemed like their lines, their O-line and D-line, were just like manhandling Colorado. Do they
Wow,
still have
congrats.
the uglies, so to speak?
Yeah, so I have BYU 8th. I will say right now, if their quarterback was back, I'd probably have them first. Like, it's not just because he's especially good, because I don't think he's that good. It's just the way that their entire offense is built around him. And we saw that last year. Their running back LJ Martin went out for a lot of the season. They just asked him to run. Like, he was a huge part of that. He had essentially 2 game-winning throws, one that set up a field goal, one that was actually a game-winning touchdown. And the third reason is that with him in the lineup, they're probably about a league average quarterback situation. Without him, they are either the worst or the second worst, depending on how you feel about Oklahoma State. And so, like, they have 2 guys on campus who did not play a college football game in 2024. They played at G5 schools in 2023, but not very much and not very well. So, like, it is just a huge difference, I think, in how you view this team without him there. And again, not just because he's such a phenomenal player, but just because of the way that team is structured. And so defensively, yes, they are awesome on the lines. They've got 2 linebackers in Isaiah Glasker and Jack Kelly that I think will be like all Big 12 contenders. This was a defense last year that was top 5 in passer rating allowed. Like they were really good in the secondary last year. I think they'll be again. And so like, so no, you still consider this to be one of the elite defenses in the Big 12. The thing is, like, do you end up and so LJ Martin, who I mentioned, like I think he has a chance to be a top 3 to 5 running back in the Big 12. I think that they're pretty good at receiver. So like if you told me they're getting league average quarterback play, again, I'm putting them up there with almost anybody. I'm just worried that they're gonna have league bottom quarterback play. And so I don't think that it's gonna be as bad as like Utah the last 2 years, but like that's what it could look like. The benefit is they play, when I went through, I considered it the Big 12's easiest schedule. So like that's probably still 8 nice wins, but like not serious contention, not serious quality where you're contending with the best. And again, like obviously we really don't need to get into obviously the circumstance of how it happened, but it's just like, man, that is just so brutal. Because again, this was a team that I might have picked to win the Big 12 if they had their quarterback back.
Okay, the wheel says that I have to pronounce the entire schedule in full Cajun. So I'm doing like the hosted thing and asking the questions, but I gotta go Cajun, man. So now it is known as Proveaux. It's got EAUX.
EAUX, of course.
That's right.
Perfect.
Provo. We're gonna be going down to Provo. Portland State, the Vikings coming on down to Provo. Lavelle Edwards State. Then we got the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford Cardinal coming on down to Provo. We got Jean Lafitte going all the way to the Pirates in North Carolina.
That's a crazy road game too.
Why? Okay.
There's nothing in Greenville. Don't do it.
Good. More of this. Get crazy and stupid with your road games.
So
I'm
weird.
into it.
On September 20th. Then we're at Colorado. Folsom Field to take on them Buffaloes. There's an X in there, Buffaloes. Then we welcome in the Mountaineers. Rich Rod, who has
There's
some
so
time
many
in
vowels
Monroe.
in that word.
What?
Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers. Then we got Arizona. The Wildcats. Then it's Utah. The Holy War. That's what we talk about when we talk about Tabasco versus Crystal Hot Sauce. That's the Holy War. Then we go up to Ames, Iowa. To face the Cyclones. Iowa. That's right. And then at Texas Tech, they be throwing them tortillas there.
He is fighting for his life.
Right now. Then we go to TCU. The Horned Frog. They good. They taste delicious. You fry on them in the skillet. They're so good. Then we go to Cincinnati. Get some Skyline Gumbo.
Oh my God.
Yes! Skyline Gumbo.
And then back home in Provo, take on the Nitro and the UCF Scott Frost. And the night before Christmas. All right, I'm done.
For context,
Save me.
a few weeks ago, I said Skyline chili is a form of gumbo, and it offended Commish so much he was silent for several minutes.
Yes,
Okay,
it was
okay.
just like, I had
Well,
to read the article.
I was wondering if someone was going to explain to me where the night before Christmas came into playing UCF.
Frostman.
I don't know where that came
Frost-
from either.
Oh, Frostman.
Not Frostman.
Frostman.
Plus the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was a lot.
Before Christmas, Boudreaux and Thibodeau.
Well, and
Yeah.
they have a Grinch too, right?
They
do
do
have a Frosty and the Grinch. Boudreaux and Thibodeau
I don't think they're
down
going to
in
be
Orlando.
playing too many December games, though. They're going to be home for Christmas.
This game
They're
is
gonna be
officially part of the Rankin Bass universe now.
Can we send them to the Holiday Bowl? Is that something that we can legally do?
If they get to 5 and 7, sure.
Can we get like a terrible Nickelodeon broadcast, but doing it all with like Rudolph figures?
I didn't realize you could make Orlando Cajun. All the way from Orlando.
Orlando.
EAUXR.
Yes, everything's got a
Both sides.
Orlando.
Both sides.
It's all Cajun. West Virginia's up. Save me.
Morgantown.
Morgantown, the
Yeah.
Mountaineers.
Say what you
Yeah.
need to say. You can't hurt me.
Well, okay, so this is what's interesting, right? Like I've had a lot. So we put out our coach rankings, and I pulled out our Big 12 coach rankings, and like West Virginia fans are really mad that we had Rich Rod 12th, and like I'm like I can see him being higher, but like I don't think that anybody should feel that strongly about it. To be honest, like I don't think people realize that his last 10-win season as a coach was in 2014. Like, it's been a long freaking time. And now, he obviously had 2 good years at Jack State, and they won 9 those seasons. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't get the anger about it. Let's put it that way. But that's, you know, maybe it's a hey, well, let's be angry over the offseason because we don't really know what we're about to watch in 2025.
Beth's angry about Rich Rod, but just for a different reason.
I think there you might be seeing a fair amount of people who like were around for the great years of that.
Yeah,
and
I also loved
like,
middle school.
I went to every game in 2001. Like I know what the beginning of a Rich Rod
that was
tenure,
first grade. Sorry.
Yeah, like I know what the beginning of a Rich Rod tenure can look like.
ULM.
And I don't think this one's going to go half as well as the last one did.
Yeah. So, okay, there's a couple things to say on it, right? One, so I've them 13th. I think they'll be very competitive. The thing I'll say, Jaheim White is going to be incredible in this offense. He is going to be so much fun. I mean, the fact that they nabbed Zach Alley as defensive coordinator from Oklahoma, like that is that is a big deal.
So
that is
he worked as the D coordinator when Rich Rod was the O coordinator under Terry Bowden at ULM.
Right.
And
really?
so yes, Zach Alley and Rich Rod were on opposite sides.
Because I knew that he was at Jack State with Rich Rod.
And so when Rich Rod left ULM, he stole Zach Alley. And then Zach went to Oklahoma, and then he took him back when he went to West Virginia. So it's like I think Zach is like younger, maybe Joey's age. Younger than
he's like
Pitt Girl.
30. He's like 30.
He's like 28, 29.
I am 30.
Yeah, I'm 31, so I'm right there with you.
He's older than me.
Yeah, Joey is baby.
Joey is baby, yeah.
I do have one question about Rich Rod because I've seen this quote. Well, one that like really I don't get. I've seen this quote from him multiple times, specifically about his players watching TikToks of men dancing in tights.
Yes.
Is this just like a turn of phrase he's used, or are there specific TikToks he's upset about?
So, okay, back in the spring, and actually, let's take it a step further back than that, right? When he was hired explicitly, the thing that has been brought up is like, is he out of touch? Has the game passing by, right? So the way that he tries to address being asked if he's out of touch and if the game is passing by is eventually during a press conference, he says, I've banned my players from doing TikTok dances.
Yep.
You're allowed to make other TikToks, but you're not allowed to dance. And now he brought up on a separate occasion that his players are now, I guess, watching guys dance on TikTok, which is also objectionable to him. And like, look, I get it, right? Like we're obviously in college football Twitter, and you know, college football Twitter frankly leans a little older than 21. And so, you know, you see this every year, like, oh, you know, the TCU kids or whatever are like dancing and making TikToks and like, you know, whatever. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're so sis.
It was like Oklahoma, like you see Oklahoma State dancing.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma State.
They're going on 12.
Yeah.
They danced.
Yeah, and it's like, again, it's just really like could not be less of a big deal. Mm-hmm. And 2 is like just truly not that serious. But Rich Rod's decided, no, we gotta have a physical, tough image of our program. So no TikTok dancing. And like this wasn't about Rich Rod specifically, but it's a coach kind of that hard-nosed ilk. I remember talking to a former staffer of his who was like, look, his whole deal was like, man, you stay there for 3 years and you hate him. You think that he's a jerk. And then year 4, you love him because you know that he was right the whole time. Except like now in this era, you can just leave after year 1. Right. And that's kind of like the thing that I'm curious about. Now, I think that he's really interesting because like he also brought in a bunch of young guys
Yeah.
who like can kind of be his translator, I guess, in some ways, right? Like his anger translator, you know? Yeah. And so it's like, okay, maybe that's okay. Maybe he understands that he needs to at least create like this conduit, but like also it's like, I mean, because obviously he had success the last 2 years, but it was at Jack State. It's with players who didn't necessarily have a lot of other options, right? That's not going to be the case at West Virginia, where you're competing for recruits with every other team in the power conferences, and also a bunch of other really good G5 teams that want your guys. So like, anyway, this is all to say, like, I'm fascinated how this is going to go. They turned over, I believe, 60 players on their roster this year. Like, it is a very new roster. Jaheim White gives them something to build around. I think that they, generally speaking, upgraded on defense. I think they're going to be notably better on defense. And I think that they're going to have some fun ideas on offense, but I don't know if they're going to, outside of Jaheim White, I don't know if they're going to be good yet. So it's sort of like I think they'll be fun and maybe not good yet.
I will be fascinated to see, like, the defense is where I feel the best, but it's also, ironically enough, I think you're going to get more harmony out of the coaching staff on offense for West Virginia this year than you are on defense. It remains to be seen if Jeff Castile can let Jordan Leslie be in charge.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has an answer for that until we actually see that play out. And like, I mean, Jeff brought his own son in as his anger translator. So this team has every bit of potential, I think, to be a tire fire.
Yeah.
Beth, I don't know why you're not excited for head coach, the Reverend from Footloose.
I actually asked him explicitly during Big 12 Media Days, like we brought it up, and we're like, so what would it take for you to dance on like what would it take? And he's like, they'd have to give me a lobotomy. And I said, okay, but like, what if you won the Big 12? Like, what if you like won like something big? And he's like, no, I wouldn't. Still
yeah,
no.
Yeah, watching him try, like, he has kind of two modes. He has the social media manager is making me do this funny video, and so I have to wink at the camera, and I'm going to be angry the instant it is off.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to stop being angry until the next time they make me smile.
No, well, and like the one thing that I'll say about him, because I had never like spoken to him before this year, like, he's a good old boy in a fun way, right? Like, he is like a fun guy to be around. Like, he knows his deal. He knows he's gruff, all this sort of stuff. So like, I did actually love like talking to him, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, how many times can you get talked to about TikTok dancing before you're just like, I'm going to play for James Franklin instead, man. Like, I'm going to play for, like, it's just, well, how long do we do this, right?
Well, I legitimately do think it's very interesting that Rich Rod is out here being like, no dancing. And when there was a clip that we talked about on literally the Sunday show of like the entire Pitt team in the room where they do all the film, like dancing together and being a really, like, they're having a good time. And like Pat Narduzzi is also the kind of guy that you would expect to be like the damn kids and their damn cell phones and their damn TikTok dances.
Like if you're the curmudgeon who like is like, oh, these kids, but then like does the thing, like, I think that makes you cooler in some ways, right? Like, you're like, okay, he's like he's this gruff old guy, but he's having our fun sort of thing. I just don't know if Rich Rod has that in him.
He becomes the dad that loves the dog that you
become occasionally fun Nick Saban.
Yes, definitely.
Electric slide Nick Saban.
Our question here, Beth. We've just been hired to coach this team. What record are we leading this team to this year? So we start on the road. Home against Bobby Moe, Robert Morris, at Ohio. Then we have the backyard brawl, Pitt, Kansas, at Kansas, Utah, at BYU, at UCF, TCU, at Houston, Colorado, at Arizona State, and home to finish the season against Texas Tech.
Did you say West Virginia is going to a MAC team?
Yes,
at Ohio.
Yeah, I can't go. I'm really upset about it.
Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
The good Athens.
West
not the-
Virginia's
no.
never lost to a MAC team before.
Oh,
Not yet.
Yeah.
well, if we're coaching
Until-
them,
Yeah.
we may be in trouble.
Well, Tim Albin's gone. The joy is dead.
He's at
So
Charlotte now.
so if I'm coaching this team, probably the funniest result is that the only game they win is the brawl. Which I have to say I'm fine with.
I think you do the John Heisman thing where you play the third stringers all year until the brawl so that they have no film on the starters.
Okay, but like, there's only two. So there's only two
Yeah,
games
just
before the
fucking
brawl,
Ohio.
and they're
Definitely leave
Robert
Ohio
Morris,
that
who lost
way.
to a PSAC team last
Yeah.
year in Ohio.
Yeah,
there's going to be no film anyway.
Pitt Girl and I were discussing the fact that these are two teams that are going to walk in to play each other on the 13th, and no one is going to know anything about.
I
the
know
other
nothing.
team.
Nothing. Anyone who
Yeah.
claims to know anything about how this game is going to go is a damn liar.
I also did not realize until it was pointed out like a week or two ago that game is on 9:13.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How did they like how
With
how was that
Rich Rod.
allowed?
Yeah.
How,
Wait,
how-
And when his last brawl was 13-9.
Yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
yes.
And this game is
Oh really?
forever.
Oh,
like,
that's the
yeah.
first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah.
Beth
Yeah.
is gonna kill you.
Like, I mean, this game is already cursed, and like Commish, you can now appreciate just how.
Oh yeah, I
cursed
got to
this game is.
see. I met them two for the first time at the Backyard Brawl last year, along with Arthur, which
And
was
Jordan.
and Jordan. And I had my kiddo with me too, my then 7-year-old at the game in a Dolphins Dan Marino jersey. So he got respect from both sides as a kid, which is weird because it wasn't a Pitt jersey, but both fans loved the Dan Marino Dolphins jersey.
A young gentleman of taste.
There you go. Up next we have Houston, Willie Fritz, second year leaving Tulane. Are the Cougs going to be any better?
I'm like low-key a little excited about this team. So I have them 11th. So they bring in Connor Wigman, of course, from Texas A&M. I think we can put aside he's a 5-star quarterback thing, but like he's also like a pretty good quarterback. They revamped their offensive line. I think they're going to be notably better there. Defensively, they were actually like kind of good last year, like which really didn't make a whole lot of sense with what was left behind by Dana Holgerson. They do bring in a new defensive coordinator. Austin Armstrong replaces Shiel Wood, but like they should still be pretty good on that side. So kind of the question is just like, do they have the skill talent to like really take off? I don't know if the answer is yes as yet. They brought in a couple of guys to give them a chance at least. They have some speed on the outside. But like, I think that also, I mean, if they have something to work with, Willie Fritz is going to get it out of them. I think that them bringing in Slade Nagel as their offensive coordinator, coming back to Willie Fritz, he was with him at Tulane, spent a year at LSU, now back at with him at Houston. I think that's a potentially huge upgrade for them. And like, again, I mean, it's true of a lot of teams in this bottom half of the Big 12, but like they just should be pretty fun. You know, they should just like do some cool things schematically. They should have some dynamic plays. Again, like I'd love to see a resurgence for Connor Wigman. Like I just think that they've like got some stuff that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. So success is probably just making a bowl game, but like I would love for them to nab somebody this year.
They bit somebody last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like Willie Fritz can do it again. How many
100%.
times they can bite you? I don't know. The question was the thing was like we had to read the schedule in Jordan's Peruna voice for SMU, which was like, "Hi guys," but you know, like the horse mouth, and then it says we attempt to find the weirdest event held by this stadium on the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Oh
So,
man.
Houston Cougar Stadium, which is now Space
TEDxU.
City.
Yeah, Space City Stadium.
Space City Stadium.
It's too new. That's the issue.
It's
There's-
very new.
Space
It was
City
built in like 2017.
Other
Maybe
events.
it's. I think the
Events.
weirdest thing is a Tom Herman football game. No, a major Applewhite football game. Let's be
So
real.
we had in 2015, actor Matthew McConaughey gave the keynote address. Then astronaut Scott Kelly in 2016, And then in 2017, they had Arnold Schwarzenegger give the keynote address in the stadium.
The press box is named after Jim Nance's mother.
But
Yeah.
Jim Nance is a famous kook.
It's the Doris Nance press box.
There's also a very funny picture of the Wikipedia page of a bunch of guys in suits wearing red Houston hard hats at the groundbreaking.
The classic one.
Yeah.
They've hosted something on the grounds of the stadium since 1940 called Frontier Fiesta.
Frontier Fiesta.
There's a picture of two women blowing up balloons in the 1950s that looks like they had a lot of fun.
Frontier Fiesta is a 3-day event at the University of Houston that takes place on campus every spring semester, usually the last weekend of March to the first weekend in April. Students groups perform a variety of shows, host carnival booths, and put on multicultural performances, participate in a large cook-off competition, and there are free concerts.
I'm just going to say, if this image of these two women at Frontier Fiesta, if you showed it to me, I would assume this was taken at a Pride event in 2018.
Yes. Yep. It really does look like
blowing up balloons. It's crazy. Oh, okay. Frontier Fiesta.
I have my submission for this answer.
Okay.
This is a football game that took place on November 17th, 2016.
No. Oh, wait. No, never mind. I don't know where we're going with this.
Houston 36, number 3, Louisville 10.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
That's when Lamar Jackson
Louisville
got like
was
back to
ranked
hell,
number
right?
3. Yes.
Yes.
This was
Like
Lamar
Ed
Jackson.
Oliver was all over Lamar Jackson.
Thank you for
Yes.
not listing the West Virginia game from 2 years ago that
No,
ruined
no
my
Hail Mary
birthday.
there. Yeah.
That was hilarious. The one that I was going to bring up was a game that I believe I was in attendance for. The game where Ed Oliver got into a fight with Major Applewhite because he wasn't let him wear a coat.
Stupid
Up next,
school.
maybe this person has unblocked. At this point, it is Kansas State, the other half of FARMO'GEDDON.
Yes. So a popular pick to win the Big 12, a lot of places, by the way. And for good reason, right? Like, we've kind of reached the point where like 8 wins is a bad season under Chris Kleiman, which is a pretty incredible place to be at. I have them number 4 in the Big 12. Like I mentioned, Tech, Arizona State, Baylor as my top 3, but like anybody in this top 6 or so, like you're just drawing names out of a bag, frankly, at this point. So of course, Avery Johnson, really, really promising first year starting for him. Turned the ball over a little bit, but like it was more like in individual games. He had turnover issues. Overall, he was pretty good, super productive. I want to say was a 2,500 yard passer, 700 yard rusher, 30 total touchdowns. Like fantastic numbers for a first year starting quarterback. And you expect him to take another step forward. I think that people underrate him and his upside as a passer a little bit because of how good he is running the football. Defensively, they lose their top defensive lineman, Brendan Mott, but like they should still be pretty good on that side of the ball. They've developed at a high level. And they've tried to give Avery Johnson a lot of help at receiver. Jaron Bradley and Caleb Medford are kind of bigger receivers who they hope will be like safety blankets to a certain extent for him. They didn't really have that last year. It was a lot of him just looking around for Jace Brown, their one good receiver. So they should be better. The thing I'm most concerned with them about is I think that their offensive line could take a pretty big step back. They lost 3 starters, I believe, off their offensive line. Their center, Sam Hecht, is back, which is definitely a big deal, but like DJ Giddens for them was able to run the ball at such a high level last year. I don't know if that's going to be the same case for Dylan Edwards, who's a little bit more of a home run hitter than he is a down-to-down type back. And so, I mean, again, I think a lot is going to be put on Avery once again. So this is a team that I definitely see in the top group. I'm probably not quite as bullish on them as some other people seem to be.
Interesting. The question that we got, or the random thing, rate the school's fight song as your alarm you'd have to wake up to every day for the rest of your life. It's called Wildcat Victory. It is not Wabash Cannonball, I believe, which I thought it was, but I listened to it and I'm not a big fan. As an alarm, like I don't want to wake up to this because it starts with drums immediately, and I'm like I'm not a big.
Oh no, oh no. Okay, I meant to
Yeah.
mute that before I unmuted. So I kind of like the cadence there. It's kind of a vibe. It reminds me a little bit of the old ESPN college football music that had the drum line in it, which return with a V to that ESPN college football music. To be clear,
I give it a 5.
It's fun.
Yeah, no, this is a great alarm. This is gonna. If I wake up to that drum line, I'm getting ready to attack the day.
Okay.
Ema, baby.
Emo.
This feels a little too like military to me. This feels a little too like American Dad, like just kind of like being brought to attention as I get up.
Good morning, Kansas State.
Yeah, no, it's like a good song. It's a good fight song, but yeah, it just feels very
It'd be tough
regimented.
as an alarm. It'd be tough.
Yeah, it feels very like, oh, my back should be straighter, sort of thing.
I might try this tomorrow morning, to be honest.
Please report back. I would like to know.
Speaking of American Dad, Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State.
Oh Jesus!
Oh no!
One American Dad.
Yeah,
One American Dad.
One American Dad.
You're talking about network American Dads. I got one for you.
Hey, that's one network.
Yeah, this is a time, man. This is a time. Obviously, I talked about getting yelled at by West Virginia fans about their coaches' ranking, but like Oklahoma State fans, again, similar deal. I don't think I have anything else to really talk about because they have no idea what on earth is going on with this team. So they just yelled at me about their coach being ranked too low because he only replaced 65 scholarship players and 9 assistant coaches.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. I have them at 14th.
Oh.
Like, you trust them a little bit, right? Like, to figure something out under Mike Gundy. But, like, here's the crux of it. Oklahoma State returns essentially 0 on-field people, coaches, or players who have ever been part of any success there ever. Like, that's where they're at, right? 9 is they're only speaking of getting me blocked, their only returning assistant coach was Sean Snyder, their special teams coordinator.
Todd Grantham is the defensive coordinator.
Yes, Todd Grantham is the defensive coordinator. Doug Meacham is the offensive coordinator. I don't even know the last time he was an on-field coach.
It's like head coach Mike Gundy, 21st season. Offensive coordinator, first season. Defensive coordinator, first season.
Third Grantham, baby.
Third Grantham. That's going
Man,
to be
if they
some
get to
emotional.
third, I think that's improvement over last year. But you know what's interesting too is that Mike Gundy is very honest. There's like this is a big thing with him, right? We kind of asked him about like making all the changes because like Casey Dunn had been a member of his staff as receivers coach for like 10 years, and John Wozniak and Charlie, like all these guys had been there for 10 plus years through coordinator changes, by the way. And we essentially asked him like, oh, you know, what kind of went into the decision to bring in new guys and start over staff wise. And he basically said, like, this is essentially like, it's paraphrasing, but it's essentially the quote. Well, we tried to look for guys who would just come in by themselves and they weren't available and didn't want it. So we had to hire guys who wanted to bring in their own staff. And it's like,
God,
that's crazy to say out loud to 2 people with a recorder. Like, that's crazy. And no, I mean, I think that, like, again, Meacham has been part of successful offenses. Grantham has some clear flaws, but like he is a better defensive coordinator than I think the memes make it out to be. So it's like, I don't think that they have bad assistants, but they just don't have any guys who have been a part of what he does. And then that doesn't even get to, I mentioned that BYU might have the worst quarterback situation in the Big 12, but Oklahoma State has 0 players who have ever played a college football game at quarterback. Two talented players, Zane Flores and Haas Haney, who both redshirted last year as freshmen. And like, so I think that they have more upside at the position.
I'm sorry. His name is Haas
Haney, and Haney is spelled Hejny.
Hell yeah.
So like
Haas Haney.
Yeah, so everybody
my
wants Haas Haney, obviously, but apparently it's
Oh.
probably gonna be Zane Flores. So like, who even knows? Like it's just this is like where we're at, and even he was like when we were talking, he's like, well, we have 65 new players, and 35 of them didn't even get here until the summer, so I don't even really know what we have. And
Right.
it's like that's like the coach of the team is saying this.
I'm looking at Haas Haney. It looks like he's got a mullet. He's got cowboy hats. I mean, like that name.
It's a very Calgary Stampede name.
I mean, that name can't be more Oklahoma State quarterback.
Yeah, he's from Aledo, which is like a town outside of Fort Worth that has crazy good high school football. Like, yeah,
Wow.
it's just like
Okay.
there's just a lot going on. I feel like this is a season to just try to survive. Like, just try to be like, all right, pick a quarterback, like, and let's
maybe
right
sneak
into 26.
in a 6-6.
I'm
bowl
Mike
game.
Gundy, and I'm trying not to get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
There's
Yeah.
nobody else left to fire.
Yeah, I mean,
True. It's just me.
crazy.
I mean, after 0-9 in the Big 12, there's got to be some kind of dead cat bounce. But
Well, and the thing is too is like, I mean, like, again, these are the sort of things that I can't believe he kind of like said out loud, but like he was like, yeah, well, this is the first roster that we bought. Like, this is the first roster that like we just went out and bought the players. Like, who cares? Like, we just we didn't want to do that before. Now I guess we're doing that. We'll see how it goes. And it's just like, wow, okay, well, cool. But like, again, it really feels like this is a season to be withstood, and as long as they don't win 0 again, like if they're competitive for a bowl, play some competitive games, I think they'll kind of let them be like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go to 26. But like, dude, they are in the UCF range of like, what are we doing here? But at least with a coach and an administration that I think knows what a football team looks like.
And we're going undefeated in the non-con isn't on the table this year.
Oh.
They do play Oregon in week 2.
Oh no!
No.
Yeah.
Why?
At
Okay.
Eugene.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bad choice.
At Eugene? Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna die.
The question that we got on the pick wheel is we read 1-star reviews for the stadium. Boone Pickens.
Oh,
Stadium.
fantastic.
I found a couple and they just say boomer. I'm like, that feels kind of
That's
cheating.
Okay.
Uh,
No, only authentic 1-star reviews.
Yes. So you can
I
find
have
some.
one. I have one here that appears to be from a. I can't tell what concert, but a concert, some sort of country concert.
Yes.
The concert was great, but the place ran out of food and beer, and merch lines were hours long. Got to the front of the line, and they said they sold out of that 30 minutes ago. Then we found out that hawkers and vendors were tipping themselves when we checked statements. Management group should be embarrassed, and that's from John Oldham.
I found one that just says not into college football anymore.
I have
I,
somebody who's real mad about having to pay for infant seats.
Yeah, I was just reading that one.
Okay.
The tap water is carbonated somehow.
Ooh.
Hmm.
That doesn't seem good. If you want some more, I can text some of my Baylor friends who were there in 2013 when Bryce Petty slipped on that turf. I know that they don't love that place.
The 1-star review that just says that's from a local guide that says great place to view a football game.
And one star.
I wouldn't talk to that person.
Here's another 1-star again from a local guide. This gentleman has 189 reviews, and it just says lame.
2-star review from a local guide with 8 reviews that just says the stadium is full of mouth breathers.
Jesus. Okay.
Another 2-star with 12 reviews in Stillwater. Every time I walk past the stadium, it smells like trash and barbecue sauce. Love the games, though.
I know it smelled crazy in there.
Speaking of trash and barbecue sauce, we're on the Cincinnati.
Hey,
I like chili. So
Time for some gumbo.
yeah.
I just heard that Skyline is barbecue. Say on.
Ah!
How
it's Skyline Chili. So the hot dogs are barbecue. The spaghetti is gumbo.
Okay.
is Scott Satterfield gonna get fired, or is he gonna find another job to avoid being fired? He's gonna
Just
pull
lateral,
the move.
Yeah,
just
maybe
lateral
Louisville.
moves.
Speaking
Lateral
of, you
moves.
can't fire me, I quit.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Maybe Louisville will come open.
Right.
It's
God,
so
they don't want him back.
Oh my god.
I feel like Cincinnati is the most like when I brought up a couple, the most like I don't really know what we're doing here situation in the Big 12. I do think they have some good players. I think that their quarterback Brendan Sorsby is actually like pretty good. And they brought some weapons in at receiver to try to give him like any help. They brought in a running back in Tawi Walker who like should be pretty decent, and they've got a defensive tackle in Dante Corleone who like keeps sticking around there, even though I don't know if that's a good idea for him. But like they just are so bad playing situational football. They're so bad in close games. They had the craziest collapse that I've ever seen against Pitt. Like that was just so ridiculous. And like I don't even think that it's like a roster issue at a certain point. They're just not coached very well. So that's
What?
one of those. That's what for this staff. No, but like that's what makes it hard to project for them. Is like it really is like how good are they at tackling drills this year? Like how are they practicing their blocking? They did bring in some good guys on the offensive line. Like I think that they have a roster that frankly could be top half in the Big 12, but like it really is just a like, can you do good things at good times? And I don't, again, how much can you do to project that?
You don't know. The picker wheel says that we predict the team's record strictly off the school's notable alumni page on Wikipedia.
Okay, so some Kelseys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Shoshana Bean. Wicked heads know who she is.
I mean, there's William Howard Taft, the 27th president.
We got the guy that created the Waltons.
Okay.
We got Markiplier.
Ooh, Markiplier. That's for all my fellow Gen Z out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a name I know, but I don't really know who he is.
I don't know like anybody you guys are talking about.
William Howard Taft was president.
Okay,
Also,
okay,
the only
I
president
got
to be
that
Supreme
one.
Court
Thank you.
justice.
Thank you. I did.
I mean, you got
who
both
else we
Kelseys.
Yeah.
Sandy Koufax.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Urban Meyer graduated from Cincinnati?
Yes.
What?
This list is not broken up by discipline.
No.
No.
Boy, there's a
no.
lot of rabbis.
There is a lot of rabbis at Cincinnati. I've never seen so many rabbis. This is incredible. Danny Fortson, NBA.
Oh, Kevin Euclid went to Cincinnati.
Whoa.
Oh,
Red Sox.
Danny Fortson is a name I've not heard in a while.
Kennesaw Mountain Landis went to Cincinnati.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Dylan
Ooh.
Mulvaney went there. That's not
Whoa.
one that I expected.
We have another claim at Space U, because yes, Neil Armstrong went to Purdue, but until death he was faculty at Cincinnati.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
This is a solid like 8-4 roster, I think.
8
So
and 4.
many rabbis.
7 and
I
5?
think this is a classic
7 and
6-6. This is
6 and 6.
6.
The classic
Yeah.
Scott Satterfield.
Wait,
The
if I
S-
can
6 and 6.
help, like get it over the 6-6 hump, get us comfortably to a bowl game.
Okay.
Lance Stevenson, the guy who blew in LeBron's ear.
No, that's still 6 and 6.
Yeah, that's
Commish?
if
That might be
anything,
a
that's like
5.
5 and 7.
What if
Hey,
I-
Lord.
Commish, what if I see that and I raise you Zach Colaros?
I was Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He
Ooh,
was
what,
in the
what about for my NBA heads, notable New York Knicks dumper? It is 11 p.m. James Flight White, who remembers that guy?
Notable New York Knicks dumper.
Well, he was basically in the Mac McClung category of just getting brought in to do the dunk
Just-
con.
just
Oh wait,
dunking.
Oscar
If we want-
Robertson.
Yeah, Oscar
Yeah.
Robinson.
Big-
I was going to say
okay.
also Jack Twyman, who is half of the
Ooh.
sportsmanship award.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that Twyman and Oscar Robertson gets us to 7.
Sandy
7 and-
Koufax?
Well,
Sandy.
yeah, I already
that's it.
factored him in.
Yeah, we
Without
factored-
him, they were probably
7
down at like 4.
7 and 5. Satterfield leaves.
Scotterfield.
Scott
Scott Scotterfield leaves to take the
is
job
going well.
at Boston College somehow.
Well, oh no, what's going to happen to Bill O'Brien?
Bill
O'Brien's
O'Brien gets
going
the
back to the
Patriots
NFL.
job.
He's going back to the NFL. He's going to take the Patriots job. Um,
Oh God.
yeah, they fired. I don't even know who the Patriots coach is.
Vrabel.
I know they fired one
Yeah.
after.
Oh,
Um,
he's not getting fired.
not least, of course, is the Colorado Buffaloes.
Who?
There's so much Big 12. Why is there so much Big 12?
Like this is
Like
the
I
whole
said, my
podcast.
salary
We didn't
has
expect
not
this to
gone
be
up
the whole
60%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do this in your ULM update, and that's the end of the
That's
show.
the end of the show.
Listen, I did the Big 12 split zone duo show where we actually just previewed the Big 12, and it also went what they said was the longest show that they've ever done. So I think that also that some of this one is that there's just so much random
Big 12.
stuff to talk about, and two, I can't stop talking.
We'll
Anyway.
move the Pac to Independence Day.
Yes, we'll do
Sacred
that.
Heart and Merrimack.
We already did Sacred Heart and Merrimack.
We'll do them again.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give them new questions. We'll keep doing it.
So the thing with Colorado, I have them 10th, by the way, in my rankings, is that like this is the first time outside of the pandemic season that Deion Sanders has ever coached a team without his sons on it. And on top of that, it's like the first time that he's ever had to coach just like a normal football team, because the last 2 years were kind of just like Shedeur and Travis Hunter playing street ball mostly. And like, that's not going to happen with Caden Salter. Like that's just not really what he's going to do back there. And I don't really know what that means. I actually think that defensively, they're going to be really good. Like they actually, I think when you look at their jump last year from whatever it was, 4-8 to 9 wins, like, yeah, I mean, obviously Shedeur and Travis were amazing, but they were amazing the year before that. The thing that changed was their defense. They've got a great young defensive coordinator, Robert Livingston. They brought in Jaheim Otis from Alabama at nose tackle, who I think is going to be a big addition for them, both literally and figuratively. They're better than people think on the back end. The question for them is going to kind of be like, okay, can they create any offensive structure at all? Because they've had none for 2 years. And they decided to bring in 9 new offensive linemen in the portal. They have a new offensive line coach for the 3rd time in 3 years. Like, they lost their top rusher for the 3rd year in a row. Like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what the thought process is here. Now, I think that, like, they're good at receiver. Draylon Miller, Amari Miller, like, they should be good there. But I don't know, like, how you even project a team like this other than that.
So how about we'll project it this way with the question. It says this team beats every team on their schedule that starts with the letters A through M, and then they lose to every other team that is N through Z.
That's
What is their
probably
record?
that's probably about as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so they beat Georgia Tech, they
Okay,
beat
1-0.
Delaware,
2-0.
they beat Houston,
3-0.
they lose to Wyoming,
3-1.
they beat BYU, they lose to
4-1.
TCU.
5-2. I'm sorry, that's 5-2 now.
4-2.
5-2.
4-2.
4-2. They beat Iowa State. Ooh, that's getting close in the alphabet, but they're there.
Ooh.
Lose to Utah.
Yeah.
Beat Arizona.
Handily.
Lose to West Virginia. Ooh.
Okay.
Pull a big upset in their last 2 games against Arizona State and Kansas State.
All right, so that's
7-5.
that's
Or
what
8-4.
8-4.
8-4.
Honestly, like, this is like not super off from, I mean, I would not have them winning their last 2 games, but like everything else is kind of there. Like, it's not bad.
Especially losing to Wyoming.
Especially losing to Wyoming.
It's an older code, but it checks out.
Losing to Wyoming and then beating Arizona State and Kansas State would be the stupidest thing ever. And
Which
so
means it's
now
going
it's
to
going to happen. Yeah.
For us, it's awesome content.
Yeah.
Like,
Dream.
they lost to Wyoming, but they beat Arizona State.
Oh man, if only we did this last year, because then they would have lost to North Dakota State.
It was close. They would have. It'd be close. So I guess like we could do like a really super quick ad read, I guess here.
Yep. Yeah,
Right.
thus previews the Big 12. And now we do podcast business 5 minutes before the end of the show.
Item.
Yes. But subscribe to our Beehive, and our Patreon. We have written content. The College Football FA Cup Round 7 is coming soon.
Oh,
We're also
round
doing
7 is
conference
done.
season.
The
It's done?
final 16 are here, and I'm going to play it out next week.
Fantastic. So we've got that.
764 team tournament is going to be done.
Yeah, so we've got that. We've got conference previews, including features on long snappers, punters, and number 69s, because we know what you're here for, folks.
That's right.
Check out our link tree. There's links in our Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky profiles for discounts. We got all sorts of things for you. So go click the link and buy the things. Check out our Patreon and our Discord. You can hang out with us. You can see us posting pictures and try to guess what we're talking about until you can listen to the show 2 days later.
Yes.
It's just $5 and it's super fun in there. There's also podcasts behind the paywall. So check all of that out. We have merch. Go to sickoscommittee.org. There's a whole bunch of good stuff over there. Buy the Macoon shirt so we can all retire when we're old, please. We got YouTube, we got Twitch. Joey's got a bunch of good stuff going on the Twitch. Although Pat Narduzzi has moved in his CFB 25 or 26 save to Notre Dame and immediately won a national championship. Which, please God, no.
Narduzzi
So
Dang.
we have that. A shout out to our friends at Message Board Geniuses. They go the places we dare not go. And last but certainly not least, our friends at Home Field Apparel. They are doing Can't Miss Kickoff. There are new boxes dropping on Friday. Click our link when you go buy the new box. Even if you've ordered from them before, we get a little kickback if you use our link for that. So please do that. But also, if you haven't ordered from Home Field before, use code yes, that's with 3 ha's, for 15% off your first order. I'm wearing a Kansas shirt tonight. Commish is wearing an EMAW shirt tonight. And Beth, of course, is representing Beth, Virginia.
Beth, Virginia, that's correct. So I guess the final thing on the show is there's been some drama in Monroe, Louisiana. The ULM AD, John Hartwell, just basically resigned on Monday. And then today, the new president named the head coach of the football team as the interim AD. So Bryant Vincent is now the interim AD. So I've dubbed this like as ULM turns, days of our Warhawks. These are the ULM mentioning days of our lives. So there's a couple of different things going on. I have like sources, some on record, some off the record, which is so weird when started like an account with just like a meme and like posting 3-yard punts for Central
You're
Connecticut.
an insider now.
I am an insider now on ULM for some odd reason. But basically, there are issues with the budget due to the state cutting funding, along with funding issues with the federal government right now, which, you know, they love to cut funding.
Why? What's happening?
I have no idea. I cannot
Everything's fine. Nothing is broken.
Nothing's okay. We're doing the Leslie Nielsen thing. Everything fine.
Nobody's on roofs.
Nothing like that.
No, it's
Nothing like
fine. Everything's fine.
So
I
ULM,
didn't see that. That's crazy.
You
I'm sorry to derail.
So funny.
Somebody was like, "This is like the episode of The Office where Michael Scott's like, should I pretend to kill myself so people care?"
Shut up, Dwight, you ignorant slut.
You asked what the wildfires were for. There you go.
There you
Shut
go.
up, JD, you ignorant slut.
That's right. That could work out.
Tariff this, assholes. Here's smoke.
God, there's always the questions like, is ULM going to drop down the FCS? Folks that I've talked to, there is nothing set in stone. There is a $5 million buyout that they have to leave to go to leave the Sun Belt. Now, if they drop the FCS, there's rumors that the Sun Belt could possibly waive the $5 million buyout, which they have made some concessions for like UT Arlington and UA Little Rock, basically to leave because they were just basketball only schools. Now, basically in this situation, like ULM's kind of in flux, but there is help that is actually already there. There are 2 former ADs on ULM staff already. There was one that I talked with a friend, Dusty at Warhawk Report. There was one on staff that didn't really officially have a job, but then they finally gave him a job. So it was kind of like an office space, like the Milton got his job back, I guess. So like the stapler, he got his job back. He's there. Also, a former AD that was the interim AD before this AD is actually being put back on the staff with the president. So it's kind of a bunch of things up in the air, a bit of drama. The head coach, I don't think he's going to be the permanent AD, but he is technically the interim, and he has help already there. So this is kind of a strange situation because, like, again, being the lowest funded FBS team, having like some sort of a hope of a 6-6 season and a bowl game, which is basically all ULM fans want, including myself. I was like, just give me 6-6 in a bowl game. Take me to Mobile, baby. I want to go see the battleship. That's what I want. And really, that's what they asked for. They were 5-7 last year. This happening. The funny thing that this happened on the same day that the fundraising email went out.
Perfect.
As the
Just say, "Help."
ULM AD, just like I'm out.
That should do it.
I mean, the timing is not great.
So, Commish, when's your interview?
So, I'm gonna submit my application on LinkedIn. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. There's like a couple of different things here, which it's at play and like ULM has kind of been flux. Which as soon as I tweet about ULM, there's people that don't follow us that are like Sunbelt East fans that like come in the mentions, and I'm like, I've noticed like James Madison fans and like Georgia State fans are like, get ULM out of the Sunbelt, and I'm like, damn, okay,
We were here first.
New
like,
money.
we've been here. We've been here since the Sunbelt, originated.
I do want to issue one correction, and
Okay.
that's that it's not that making a bowl game would be considered a good season. It's that they've made one bowl game period in their history.
Well, yes,
Mhm.
and they
So-
had, yes, the bowl
So-
game, that's all I want is 6-6 in a bowl game. That's what I want.
Yes. So like it would literally be the if they made a bowl game again, it would literally be like the Patrick Beverly standing on tables, swinging his jersey
Yes.
around
Done.
video. Like
They
that.
celebrate the play-in
Commish
game.
would
yeah.
do that.
I would
Yeah,
do that.
it's-
I would drive to Mobile from San Antonio. It's 12 hours. I'll make it.
What's being circulated is that they wanted them to cut $9 million.
So
I've heard pushbacks on that.
I've gotten like whatever that was pushed. They were like 6 to 9 million. Is not the case.
Yes.
there
I
is
had
the
heard
cuts,
more. Yeah, I had heard
way
like
less.
2 to 3 million.
Yeah.
Not 6 to 9.
Which
again,
is just cut the tennis program.
third, fourth hand. This is not
Yeah.
official reporting, but like the point is, like, when you are last by a mile, you probably don't need to go laster by a miler, especially when you have like John Hartwell is like a pretty like respected AD.
Yeah.
Like he came from Utah State. He was kind of looking for an off ramp from that job. He wanted to get back in the South. And like that's how he ended up at ULM. So like you kind of had like this little brain trust there of Bryant Vincent and John Hartwell that like maybe you feel some optimism about for the first time. And like immediately he's just like, I'd rather be unemployed.
Yeah, so the new president basically got announced at the end of May, and it's less than 3 months later, and the AD's gone, like suddenly.
Cool.
Yeah,
This is fine.
I have a feeling that if they ask nicely to move to FCS, I think they're gonna be allowed to do so.
I honestly think that'll be the case. I don't necessarily know if it will happen. I don't.
There's a lot of interest there that do not want that to happen.
Yeah.
But like you're just hamstringing yourself to such an extent. Like what are we doing here?
It's like the Pioneer League being FCS when they don't give out scholarships. Like,
Yeah, it's like
we're technically still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Again, it's just like I have to win the lottery to become the T. Boone Pickens of ULM.
Yeah.
So
No,
all I
and not to plug another show, but you know, Split Zone Duo, if you're a subscriber over there, they did a whole episode on like how ULM got here. That was really good. So I'd encourage you to check it out.
I'm very well versed in the situation, so I'm just like they're telling me stuff that I already know.
Yeah,
If
Commish,
if you
Commish
don't
was
know-
on the duck hunts.
If you don't look seriously, when they started talking about,
Which Robertson are you talking to?
you know, the one that brought the jerseys, the one that did not get into the controversy.
You
And-
sure?
Yeah. It was the father that went to La Tech, and that was a quarterback with Terry Bradshaw. So again, I blame that on the La Tech side of Duck Dynasty.
That
So-
is the Bulldog side of the family.
Yes, the Bulldog side of the family. But you know, again, we did get the fantastic camo Duck Dynasty jerseys that we beat Wake Forest in. So, which was great. And I talked trash to Tim Duncan online. Tim Duncan may have blocked me. I have no idea. But just the situation there in ULM, it's just like it's in flux. It's always kind of been like this. But then with the new cuts, with the new like Louisiana state funding, which is weird if you get into it. They have something called the TOPS program, which, you know, the new governor is like trying to mess with, but basically as long as you get like a 2.0 in Louisiana, you would get like tuition reimbursement to any in-state school. And you start messing with something like that. That's kind of the lifeblood of many universities in the state. You start messing with that. I don't necessarily know how ongoing that is, but I mean, that's kind of how I got, you know, some of funding. But I did get a scholarship to like ULM. So like academic wise, but which it was
I was
not
just
hard.
say you were on the basketball team.
Not hard at all to get an academic scholarship to ULM. Because my ACT was not that great. But it is a great episode. The duck hunting thing is very real in that episode. When Godfrey mentions campus is like just is deserted as soon as duck hunting season starts, is very accurate. In my first semester there, they changed the name from Northeast Louisiana University to change it to ULM. And then I think like the 1st of November was like the open of duck hunting season. And on the weekends, I'm like, where the hell did everybody go? and then I see somebody pull up in a Chevy S10 with like 50 ducks in the back of the Chevy S10. And they're just like basically cutting the ducks open in the dorm parking lot. And I'm like, where the hell did I go to school?
Anyway, I live in Dallas. But no, it's I mean, you know, again, there's a whole other, not even there's like a series of articles or a book to be written on that, but it's like, I mean, one of the big things, especially when you talk about programs at this level, especially in that state, is like, especially, I mean, I'm not drawing a direct line, but like, especially post Katrina, it's like there is not the population of college educated students in that state anymore to support the number of universities that they have. So like, this isn't just an issue of, hey, the football program at ULM is like in rough straits. This is like, dude, can like,
it's many different
can SPECIAL exist as a school, right? Like, can these schools exist long term? Because ultimately, the answer is probably not. And also, I will say too, when you think about some of the dynamics of ULM of people trying to push ULM to stay FBS, it's because that is one of the decisive advantages that it has when you compare it to Northwestern State, for example, right? Like, this is an FBS school with an FBS football program, maybe only nominally, but like, that makes it status wise a different thing. We kind of see the opposite of this in the state of Texas, where like you see teams moving up to gain status in that way.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this is not a uniquely Louisiana problem. We're going to see this all over the place. I mean,
it's
funny
that
West Virginia. We can talk West Virginia right now.
It's funny that the first school that ULM plays is St. Francis, who's dropping
exactly.
Yeah,
well, that's exactly who I was thinking of, and their enrollment is dropping this year in part because of that drop out of D2.
Yeah.
Well, and Beth, I was thinking also about the mergers in the Pashy schools.
Sure.
And that's not something that people are thinking about sports wise, because these are a bunch of D2 teams, but like, CalU used to be CalU and not Penn West, California.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and kids, it's coming for D1. Like, it is coming for D1.
Mhm.
There are schools that you cannot imagine that they're going to wink out of existence in the next 15 years, and they are.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting too, because it's like, I think that especially when people who aren't intimately involved in university system, right, that sort of world, like, because look, here's like, Alabama's not going to disappear, right?
No.
Like Ohio State's not going to disappear, but even a lot of people who are fans of those schools went to the more regional schools. And like, it's not like a secret, of course, in life. We're seeing such consolidation of resource, but that's about to explode. And, you talk to people, even at big schools, about like, the enrollment cliff, right? They call it, because like in 2008, during the housing crisis, people didn't have kids anymore. For who can imagine why, right? So it's like 26 through 30 is going to be a much smaller cohort of kids enrolling in colleges in general.
Yeah.
So anyway, these are, I didn't think we'd be talking about the enrollment cliff on the SICKO committee podcast.
You wouldn't.
And
this what happens.
while Alabama's not going to wink out of existence, Penn State closed a third of their branch campuses this year.
I was just thinking about that too.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
I mean, Texas
there are
had to close the
huge
Qatar
school-
campus.
And the thing about it is, like,
That's a different thing.
you can only cut those so far before the flagship has to make very hard choices.
West Virginia, with like the stuff that they're pulling with their English department and all this sort of stuff,
and their
right?
foreign languages department and their math department. Oh my
You're
God.
seeing schools that are major schools decide that we're not gonna have a liberal arts education offered, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like, this is the fun and games part, is the college football part of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's actually like real people's livelihoods, not just in terms of like the educators but like in terms of people being prepared to enter the world, right? Like that ends up being cost. And like, if you are a student in the state of West Virginia, what does it cost that the flagship university can't offer you a complete education? Like that is an existential problem.
I mean, as the NCAA says, most athletes go pro in something other than sports, and most students came to play school. And so, what are we doing if we're not doing the school?
I feel like this entire podcast episode is when you would get the tonight on a very special episode. And Eddie Winslow has been arrested. And
later on the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey show.
we just did the after school special SICKO Committee podcast.
A very special episode.
What a very special
Mom, they offered me drugs.
Mom, they offered me ULM football.
That's drugs. That's definitely drugs.
Also Nebraska joined CUSA, but we'll talk about that later.
That is a conversation for next time on the SICKO Committee podcast. Shehan, thank you so much for joining us. Where can folks find your work?
Yeah, you can find work that probably leans a little more towards the latter half of this podcast than the former over at cbssports.com. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Shehan Jeyarajah. And by the way, a little bit of a tease. We have a project that's launching next Monday, August 11th. Nobody has really said or heard anything as yet, so just we'll throw that open-ended tease out there.
Ooh.
Exclusive SICKO's committee report.
It actually is. I don't think it's been mentioned anywhere else.
Breaking news at the end of a 2-hour and 15-minute podcast.
That's the thing,
Shehan.
You could talk about it right now. No one will hear it.
but I know that Sean Snyder is going to hear it.